We'll just I'll go down the list first. Callaway here. Elbow Lake here. Iron Range. Monoman. Natawash
Here.
is here. So I come up and do an update, Tara.
Go ahead. Okay, so we have a written report for the council. And then I'll read what we were doing. And I have one extra copy for Maria, so she'll have it. So,
It is. Yeah.
dear Whiters RBC, we would like to thank you for your assistance in the past few months. We've been very, very busy. Every weekend in the month of December, we have hosted a community event, storytelling, round dance, Christmas toy distribution, pictures with Santa, a raffle and a blanket dance at the New Year's sobriety powwow to support a Natawash family who lost everything in a house fire. That's where a lot of our fundraising has gone to, is supporting that, because we had other plans for it, but when that happened, we knew that they needed help right now. So the Natawash Community Council would like to thank our district rep for the assistance with the new doors and plywood for shelving at our Natawash Community Council headquarters, the Natawash Old Center. We need a new stove for the kitchen.
Yeah, I know you do.
It's pretty rugged. Our requests and recommendations are as follows. There's very limited Wi-Fi in the village. We would like a Whiters RBC to install Wi-Fi and a phone line in the Old Center. We would like the Wi-Fi to be open for community members, as the Wi-Fi password has been changed to sports complex. Many times this is the only way our people have to connecting and calling. This is not only an educational and economic issue, but it's also a safety issue, because there are spots where there's no connectivity for your cell phones at all. And a lot of times this is how our members connect. So if they're applying for jobs, or, if there's concerns about safety, there's no way to have anybody call out or get help. And I'm sure the tribal police can contest to that, because they used to go up to the complex and suck off the Wi-Fi. But now I know all their cars are equipped, so. We would like to recommend the next year that we take a closer look and work closer with the Whiters administration for the Whiters Christmas Toy Giveaway Program. We can order our own toys for the community and work with finance and admin in that process. We can also pick them up directly from Walmart, so we don't have to worry about a distribution in one site, because we make it a lot easier for everybody involved, because it gets really hard when all of that's going on. And then as far as scheduling, because we weren't able to schedule in time this year, so we had everything on the same day. And
actually, we were talking about that after this year, that to push it down to the community councils and let them take care of their own areas,
because they know their communities best.
And then we can do a little bit more upfront outreach with their members.
I did.
And then if Whiters does walking shield donations, again, we would like to be part of that as well. This past Christmas, Natawash was short 45 toys and 11 gift cards, which we as Natawash Community Council purchased ourselves. We did send down the signature sheet for those who signed for their gift cards. So we just want to make sure that you guys have them. We submitted that receipt to the Housing Authority with all of the receipts, the sign-in for the Christmas party, all of that. They tabled it, saying that we didn't submit receipts. And they can't do a monthly, they have to wait for a monthly meeting.
You tell her. George, I have to go. All right. Okay, try that.
All right.
In
I'm
Callaway,
an elder. Yeah. Not here to Minneapolis. Okay, what was the question?
No question. We are requesting,
Don't tell me.
what's in your letter? We are requesting a donation of 20 pounds of wild rice. With all of the events we are hosting, we are running short on donation and food for the feast. 20 pounds will cover the remainder of our winter events. Also, if any department has extra hams, because I know that's something that happens, is that departments haven't given out all of their Christmas hams. We would be willing to take them, and we would like to take that donation, because I know different departments didn't distribute all of them. And so there's hams sitting all over, whiter in freezers. And we will cook them and serve the people. Just saying. So, we are requesting a woodlot lease close to the village. We often have a need for firewood for our spiritual fires in Adawash, and it would be a lot easier for us to go get our own wood for these fires. And it would be most beneficial if we could have that lot close to the road, so it's not hard for us to go get our wood. So we use, we do know that some of the funerals have to run short with the donations, but we have spirit fires, we have sweats going on. We try to always have that fire for storytelling and putting that dish out. We also have full moon ceremonies, and so we're always looking for wood, and so that's always a really big need. We're looking at developing a sliding hill for our children and youth. We will need to move some earth, and we will need an environmental assessment done. So those usually run at least minimum of $5,000, right? And so we are requesting that White Earth Natural Resources provide this for us. This is an expense we cannot afford. At the moment, our children are sliding directly off of County Road 4, and this is extremely dangerous. We've got cars parked there to bring their kids sliding, and running up the hill, there's no shoulders anywhere on the res, right? So they're like right there. So we're really concerned about that. We're also requesting the ice skating rink boards. We will level out an area for the skating rink this summer, and we'd also like to know about the insurance on these public areas that we have in Adawash. So the other concern that comes up is that they put the skate park right at the intersection of County Road 4 and the BIA Road, right there at the four-way stop. And we got basketballs flying out there, and I know they put so people can't drive into it, but our basketballs go flying out and the kids go running after them. I mean, it's a huge danger issue, and we're really concerned about the safety of our kids and our families up there. Plus, we have a stop sign that never stays up. So if you could buy us a really big spring for the stop sign, it just pops back up.
Oh, poor kid.
It really is.
Luckily, they're Indian kids.
So, but we have started the discussion with the Monoman County Commissioners to address safety concerns in public access and recreational areas in the Nadawash Community Council service area. We will need to work closely with the White Earth Land Department to accomplish some of our joint ventures that we're working on. And some of those things in the discussion one is the burnt out buildings. And so I know White Earth at one point had a line item to help take down and demolish those burnt out. They're an eyesore. Denny knows from housing that we're expecting them to take down the burnt down houses in the projects too. But some of them are on fee land, and that's a county issue. So we're checking the plot to see if they're still in the ownership or if they're tax forfeiture. So those are some of the things that we're concerned about, is kind of the blight looking areas in our village. The other thing we talked to them about is lighting. So up on the four-way, and we already got word back that they've already done an assessment on the lighting issue, because it's really dark at the top of the hill. And we have cars will come, so in the summertime, the cars will come and park up there and shine their lights up there so that kids can keep playing after dark. But when you're coming south out of the projects, you can't see to the left. And everybody wears black. like, nobody's out there in a safety jacket, right? So we have serious concerns about lighting. It's also a BIA road going down to BAB, right? So that's a tribal road, and so we need lighting down that road as well, but we'd really like it if we could get that spot lit up.
Which road are you talking about?
Address, right?
No, well, the cut across, that's a whole nother issue, like, that's another issue, like, I talk all day on, like, that.
Yeah.
You guys, when are you guys gonna redo that road?
Well,
Because-
I've
Blair Road, the Blair
been
Road?
asking for,
The Blair Road?
Yeah,
well, the tower's been all contract, well, I think Joe had worked on it for almost 2 years for our Wi-Fi and whatnot we need. And then also on the, I asked for lighting, I asked the commissioners, the only one that would respond to me was Acton.
They wouldn't put that
And
tower up over there.
I
because
said,
it's a
you know, it's
federal
your
land.
responsibility. It's a state's responsibility if it's tax or, land. And these houses, and kids are in there using drugs and whatnot. And, so they quit talking to me. I was studying all of them except for that.
You really don't do it.
And now, so that's where we're at with that for the village.
well, and this was one of the things too, is because we understand that, we'd really like to clean up Jolson's Landing. But it's best if it stays in the county's name, they can condemn it, and then they can get, federal EPA funds to do the cleanup on it. Because that's one of the pieces, because there's a generation of tire fires down there. Is that how you'd say that? So we have some concerns, we gotta pull some of that sand out and that dirt out and then refill it with some new stuff. But that's one of the things that we're willing to work on as community council, because our kids need a place to swim in the summer. So
Go down the
that's,
planners, but they're not welcome. They're not.
what's the deal with Pinehurst? Like, I don't even know anybody swimming down there anymore.
They charge,
Charging $5 or?
charge $1.
Oh, is it $1? Yeah, so they're getting charged to swim down there, and so, it would just be nice to have something right there in the village, and we could really clean that up.
Nobody goes to BAB anymore either, but they-
Glass.
Glass, though, that's another,
But we do have,
Stuff like that laying around.
we do have.
cleaned up the needles.
Boy, they
We
did.
did that.
Mhm.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we've had a
But we
couple
didn't get it
cleanup.
right.
Is that the same as Joel's about, B and Joel's?
No,
What is
BAB
it?
is, BAB road.
Oh, what's the old Civics called now?
Cheer, Chris?
Oh, that's what they charge?
We charge our kids too.
Yeah, and so that's one of the things is we'd like the land to stay in the county's name, have them clean it up, and then they can lease it to us, or however, and we're willing to put the improvements into it.
I think we do have a lease on that now.
Do you have a lease on it
I
now?
think we do have a lease on that now,
For 10 years?
on that Olson land.
First, they're gonna give us 99 years for $1. Then they thought
I'm
about
pretty
it.
sure we do have a
We
lease on that
charged
now.
for 10 years for $1.
Well, that's-
But after we fix it up, they're coming,
So,
Gotta worry about that.
we also need a signed letter from the RBC and the chairman stating our status with the wider RBC. Native Community Council will be working on a 501c3, and we would like to have legal and financial assistance with this process. We will need the letter until this process is completed, and we are currently fundraising in multiple areas to make a difference in our community. So that was one thing, is I know that there's a status letter that would work, because there are places that we can apply for without a 501c3. And so those are the ones that we really want to hit until we have that. I know before in the past, legal was open to that assistance process. So if any community council wanted help with their 501c, legal used to do it. I'm not sure if that's, it's a different legal director, if that's still the same process. Okay, so we can just call Veronica down there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, when will the new clinic construction be, started? Are we gonna start this spring then on that?
I'm all for this spring. Start.
I think when we reported earlier, I think that's what Scott's putting together the capital improvement plan for all the projects. Scott, Pat Butler, and some other directors are working on it, so.
So we have a huge need for healthcare and employment in Nadawash. We would, like the weather emergency policy for moms and mats program in Nadawash. We are often contacted when things happen in the village and we would like to know how to direct people, because that's one of the things is we'd like to be involved in that. Because a lot of times when things happen, they get a hold of one of us. And so that's kind of something that we're interested in, so.
I think you probably contact Liz on that one. I think she has you have a text list or whatever, Joan, and that you guys text out
We
to.
put them also on.
They should put all councils on.
Yeah.
Don't get it active anyway.
You guys stay busy, spend the year.
Well, you should see what's coming up.
I
They're pretty cool.
know our poor kids don't have jack or.
I think a mom's and that's their building in March up there.
That'll be good. Do we have an office in the complex then?
We had a lot of sites that got done in the summer, spring, summer, but I think those are gonna be open for business up there in March.
We'd be invited to the next homeless committee meeting.
Yeah, it's.
You're gonna have it. With Ben or with,
It's on the
Yeah, make
16th.
the next Tuesday.
Next
And
Tuesday?
it's right in Nato.
27th is,
Okay, because we've gotten some requests to use the old center as a homeless for our community,
for shelter?
but it's really hard because we have a lot of things in there. So what little things we do have, we have to keep safe, and plus we have funerals in there quite often. And so that would be one of the concerns. We want to keep our members warm and we want to do something for them. But like that space is not gonna work, but we've had requests to do something and help try to get something opened up in the village.
If you can find something, please let us know, because we are looking in each community where we can set up places, in the communities. That's where we really want them, in the communities.
Yeah,
So if you can find someplace, we'd be more than willing to come in and look at it, do the kid for it, because each after a warming area.
well, and this is one of the things too that you might wanna think about because there's so many vacant houses, right? So at one time, housing was talking about having a sober house in each community and being able to designate a house. And if you guys just took your own crew and went in and said, let us fix up one of these vacant houses that need repaired, and then designate that as a homeless shelter, but you're not. Because, and honestly, and I will be honest, we lost somebody in our community. And he would open up the doors to anybody at any time of night. They could sit at his kitchen table, and we lost that. We not only lost a community member that really did a lot, but we lost that place for our people in the dead of winter, that they could go someplace, And so we do understand that homeless is a serious issue and we're feeling the effects of it.
The only thing with the sober houses are housing. We are getting so much hammered on our housing, getting these houses fixed up and.
We're down to 6 now.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it.
we do need more housing for houses, but I like that idea, sober houses, a warming house, that's a very good idea, but I'm sure if we did have our own of our houses, we would get hammered on that too. Some of the people for not putting it into like sheltering one of you guys, families in there, and that's a good idea, I like that.
Yeah, so that's something to look at and to work on, because if we can't do something this winter, let's make sure that we're ready by the fall. So, and we are returning, the $2,325 check dated November 21st, 2019, as the White Earth RBC had already assisted with $2,000 for our first ever community round dance on White Earth. We just received this in the mail, and we managed to be able to take care of the round dance. We did get the assistance before, but I don't know what was up with this check.
Is that the one?
5,000
Because
when
that one might be the one
Alvin
for
promised.
High Point. They need
No,
High
this
Point.
was this was
a different
dated
one?
November 21st, 2019.
Okay.
Pine Point wasn't talking about anything until December.
We didn't do the community council one until December, didn't we?
Community
So
council
why
didn't
would
even
you
get
me
one
a
yet.
letter?
So that's not the round dance one?
This was for our round dance,
And you don't need it.
and you already gave us $2,000, and this one just came in the mail. And Maria and I have been talking because my first question was, why aren't we getting the full $5,000?
Yeah.
Because
So
we
that's
put in a
coming, yeah?
request.
No, she got the 5,000. This one,
We didn't
Merlin,
get the
oh,
5,000.
so she didn't get that one in the mail yet. Okay,
No.
Aisha worked on all the checks, so all the community councils should be receiving the 5,000. this $2,000 check, Merlin Deegan processed this. So admin didn't process this check. And this is the one that I asked Scott to follow up on. So there was discussion on this.
So we're returning that because we already got 2,000. We did submit our report. Did you get the report, Joan?
Yeah.
Okay, because all of our original receipts and our signatures and everything was in that. So, and I know the 2,000 didn't cover our round dance event, but we covered it with fundraisers and different things like that. So that's the other piece that we always get told we're supposed to be doing fundraisers, and we are. We're doing 50/50s. We've been up to the complex. We're going to be up at the sports complex again on Monday, selling 50/50 and our raffle tickets. So which brings us to, we also have raffle tickets, and we would appreciate if all bought tickets today to support our efforts. We look forward to hearing from
Why don't
you.
you give her that check back?
Native Community Council.
So she can buy a fridge and a stove.
It's
Donated by.
yeah, because those are the ones that we really need. So
Thank you.
This is what they call it.
I think on another note, if we could get put on the agenda quarterly, unless you really want to hear from us monthly.
I mean, 4 times a year, like we talked about before, would probably be best. I mean, so, and that's kind of like what our community councils are supposed to have their events 4 times a year. I think the community council will be reporting 4 times a year.
Yeah, and so that's one of the things is we have 4 to 5 events every month. So in February, we have storytelling, moccasin games, cribbage tournament. What else do we have coming up in? March is beating, so and that's the other thing too, is we're trying to hire locally in our community. And if we have to go outside the village, then we'll go outside. But we're trying to give stipends to teachers and different ones that we come in doing some of these different events. So tomorrow we have moccasin game teachings. So we're gonna talk about legends, we're gonna talk about where it comes from, we're gonna talk about how it is part of us as Amish and some of the games that we play. So we've got some people coming in to talk about that. And then we'll have other events too. So we'll have a spring event. We've got MMIW event coming up with a beading contest with the red dress. We have book bingo, so we'll be putting in a request for that. So
Okay.
we got a lot of stuff happening. And we're also gonna need to talk to Mike because we would like to invite LaRock to our next regular meeting because we have some concerns.
You're supposed to show up to every meeting anyway.
Yeah.
Mike, you're supposed to be at every one of our meetings, they said.
You are.
He said, okay.
We never, since you guys, kind of got back together, there was meetings that where we didn't show up, they said there was a meeting and there was no meeting.
Since we get,
Itemize it and yeah.
oh, okay.
Or you guys, show up on a date and nobody did it.
Okay, do you want us to notify, we'll give you, our dates?
These are the quarterly
Okay,
dates.
that would be great. If you could do the dates, I'll bring myself and I'll bring Curtis Rogers.
And I mean, the stuff that you're requesting, like the stove and Wi-Fi, I mean,
Our new animal
should I have her or?
Yeah, we're, yeah.
Too easy.
In the city?
They don't have prayers on.
You can have Joe sign off on my travel.
I'm in favor.
Every community should have one.
So what we have for our
Good idea.
raffle is the grand prize. It's our Super Bowl raffle. We have a 50-inch TV. Second prize is a great pop. Third prize is a Super Bowl gift basket with snacks. Fourth prize is Super Bowl gift basket with snacks. Fifth is $25. Sixth place is $25. And seventh place is Tim Hortons coffee from Canada.
Is Tim Hortons, he's whiter. He told me he was. Tim Horton.
I didn't know that.
Even Colbert talked about him last night. Joe got in trouble for getting fancy donuts.
As far as that
That's
odor
Canada.
control, people are complaining to me that only,
John,
like a
we
truckload,
have Liz.
you have to have it dried out,
Itemized, we can get it.
taco, and then they haven't pay outrageous.
Yeah, yeah, it
To
burns.
keep- I mean, for, your,
Minimum amount.
Yeah. and I wanted to bring it to the RBC,
Tara,
Harder wood, that'll even last longer.
right?
So do you need a motion on that? Jim?
no, we're gonna have Liz and Joan put together the budget for this. We're gonna itemize it and run it past you guys and then we'll approve it. I think that no one's gonna.
Cause I mean, Wi-Fi, like, it's critical to have our members, I mean, and our kids on the Blair Road, there's not even a hard line. You know, how are our kids supposed to get an education when all these schools are sending tablets home with them? And they can't connect to nothing.
I think that broadband is gonna start being put in here. I think they just okayed a bunch of money for that
Supposed to
broadband.
be, huh?
Yeah, for rural communities in
I
Minnesota.
know in Rice Lake, they come up to the community center, and they sit outside and use our Wi-Fi off of there.
Now, the other thing is you might wanna think of another booster or something at the complex and open that back up to the community.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, you should almost think about that with all of your buildings, is having public Wi-Fi, you know? Because I was there trying to suck off Wi-Fi one day and your council member couldn't even get the password.
Well, in
And
Rice
we give it
Lake,
to her.
in Rice Lake, we just recently turned ours off because we had kids up there sitting up there at midnight.
Well, and yeah,
Okay,
'cause-
we're
and
on
that's the
that.
thing is you could have like a timer, but also looking at safety. Like, is there a way to call out or something like that? So, I mean, safety would be a big thing. I don't know if tribal police has anything left in their safety budget, or if you could put it in one of their grants to talk about some of that safety, sorry. You know, is to do that. But yeah, I totally get that kids should have their Wi-Fi turned off at night.
Yeah, so
So,
we shut ours off at 6.
Do you unplug your router?
No, they automatically shut off, now. We got it on a timer.
Oh.
Because otherwise we had kids up there on school nights till 11, midnight, you know.
What about that wood?
I'm all in favor of that.
I mean, people
We'll have
get
to find
at
a
the
lot,
most.
right?
Yeah, we'll have to find a lot.
So we're with land department to identify a wood lot.
But look at, I'd like to see that lease quit, I mean, well, you guys are pretty active and really, this is really neat, I like this.
and that's the other thing too. I know, Joe, our vice chair, has offered, with any other community councils that want any help or need anything, that we're willing to assist, because there's things that we would like to do jointly with the other community councils, because if we start cribbage tournaments, like, we could really have like a great big champion of champions, you know, one time a year, because we're already talking about like the grand prize. We want to find somebody to make us a cribbage board in the shape of North Wind, and that would be one of the prizes. You know, think what they could do for Rice Lake. I mean, that's so.
Yeah, Rice Lake would be a big
Oh
Well, I think that's-
Let's do Round Lake. No, I'm just
So
kidding.
can we get that wood taken care of right now?
Yeah, do we need a motion for that?
I'll take the, make the motion
Well,
to the.
we will identify, because we have to identify a lot.
Yeah, we have to find a lot first.
Yeah, well, not only that, they're only using like that's dried wood, popple, that burns really fast. So when they gotta keep their fires going for 4 to 3 days, you know, they have a hard time. Plus we go through a lot.
It would even be a nice, even a lot for Greenwood, because Greenwood, it burns, once it gets square, it burns a long time. You know, you don't need seasoned wood for us.
So I'd like to see that changed, you know,
Um,
maybe next week.
This is the other thing too that Metawash is doing. So if we lose somebody in the community, we bought the great big Sam's Club coffee, right? So we can afford to help with $50, but we go out with cash right away. We go out with a coffee, and it would be nice if we could get some cups, because we try to bring out what we can. And so if we had coffee cups, because those are the things right now, like, families aren't thinking about. And, you know, everybody starts coming over and they bring food, but a lot of times it's the coffee and it's those in the cups that, that our families need right now. The other thing too is, we haven't done it yet, but we got money now, so we're able to do it. But we wanted to buy some tarps, because what happens if the weather is really bad, they need to keep their spirit firewood dry, because it gets really hard. And sometimes, because you got people sitting out there and that windshield is so bad, and if we could, so we want to try to find a tarp or something to be able to not only maybe protect the wood, but maybe something to help for whoever's sitting out there. So, the problem is we did get the new doors. They're the standard doors. They're not the wide doors. So sometimes we got to take the doors off the hinges because they're so wide. So, the caskets and stuff. So, I mean, there's a lot of issues. There's a lot of things that we need, in our community. And, but we're working on it. So we're trying to help, any way we can, both personally and then as community-wide as events. And that's the other thing too, is that everybody's invited. So if you see something posted that NATO Wash is doing, everybody's invited. It's not just for our NATO Wash community. And we're more than willing to help any community council out if they need anything, or if there's anything that we want to do jointly. We're more than willing and happy to do that. So the one piece that we are going to work on, because we're trying to make sure that we hit every age as well, so we're not just focusing in one area, is we're going to have book bingo. And so we're going to have, with that book bingo, we want to have a youth reading challenge over the summer months. And so we're going to need help, because we want to give each kid that reads a book a Nike hoodie, because that's what they like. Everybody loves a hoodie, right? So if they read a book, you get a hoodie. So we got to raise some money for that. So there's a couple places, and that's why we need that letters, because we need to start raising now, because it's going to be expensive. And then we want to hire a teacher to do, they come in August, they say, this is the book I read, here's whatever, they can either do it verbally, but if they want to join the writing contest and do a book report in 1 hour, do the best book report you can, we'll have that teacher grade the papers. And we won't put kids' names on it, because we all know it's about favorites, right? So we're not trying to set nobody up, but then we'll let the kids do a essay, book report, and then first place will be $150 for Foot Locker or Finish Line, something like that, so they can go buy their shoes for the school year. Second place would be $100, third place is $50. So that would be the incentive of getting into the writing contest, and that'll be 7 through 8. But that one will be specific to our area, because we're really trying to help out our kids in the community as well. But the book bingo will be open to everybody. And so anybody who wants to bring their kids to a book bingo is welcome to. So let your communities know that as well. If there's anything going on. No.
I just bought some.
You bought 2. Those are the only 2 tickets I sold.
There's only.
Oh, that you said I bought some. I was so slick. That's the only 2 I sold.
Thank you. Thank you, Nawa.
I can now because.
Like, I want to make a comment about the broadband and all that stuff. There is a feasibility or some study out there for reservation wide. There is one out there that I don't know where it went, I don't know where it's at, but I know Carl, and I don't know if it was Jesse Fain, but there is a study out there of what it would take to go for reservation wide broadband and stuff like that. So, and then I just, on the way down this morning, I heard the governor just signed off on a big broadband, statewide broadband bill. That was a lot of money. I don't know if Whiter's at the table at that or not, or with that or not. So, but yeah, there's money out there for, and I know at the last quarterly meeting in Rice Lake, I know Kathy Annette from the Landon Foundation came in about broadband stuff too. There's money out there to get it there. So, but we do have a study somewhere for reservation-wide
I think they
broadband.
said it was like $36 million for the state of Minnesota for rural broadband.
Yep.
And isn't that, Blairville, isn't that gonna be worked on with the Highway 200 project at the same time? Isn't that, no, they added that on.
Oh, did they?
I think so.
I don't think so. I think just up at on the Highway 200 end.
I thought they did some more.
They're gonna have some turning lanes right there and stuff, but I don't think it's the Blairville itself is gonna be.
No, but I think Mike Bowman wanted to add funds to work on Blair Road.
Are you gonna give
Is that the
it,
railroad or is that the Clark Road?
you're giving them each 5,000 community councils that are active?
I know they're gonna do some turning lanes on the Blair Road off the one.
They were asking if they could do more on the Blair Road, but because it's a BIA road, they were asking BIA to get you BIA, so we just got one car in it.
I mean, I think it's
Do you need a motion for that, Vice?
Oh, they're gonna just get stuff together.
I think
Together
Why don't we
on
just together a list for us and then we'll approve it on Wednesday. Okay. Rick, Cass Lake's up next.
You get to talk with Leo, right? I'll be the nice guy, he's gonna drop it. Thank you guys for coming down, being here. We hope that there'd be a lot more people, but that's how it is. First of all, I want to thank you for, the $5,000 that's coming out, make a big difference for us to help us do things here. Get stuff moving. The toy drive, for the toys for Christmas there. Thank you guys for getting in there and giving us extra. It helped out a lot. We took money and chipped in on it too, to make it work. And now that we know how it has to work, it'll be a lot easier. We can move forward with that. I'm gonna go back to some old business. Last year when we were here, we talked about a new dishwasher, new garbage disposal. It still hasn't been taken care of. So I'd like to get moving forward on that. We had some work done. Fellow came in and put some holes in, for the camera system and stuff like that. He has yet to be paid. We can get that taken care of. And, yeah, we've had some vandalism with some of our windows being broken all along the alley side here. And we're getting them bricked in. They're putting blocks in there, taking them out. That's gonna help. So we won't have that issue.
Is there a camera back there?
Not on the outside.
Here's the coming, though.
Yeah.
How's it working in the back there, Rick? Are they using that back door to bring coffins and stuff in there?
Yep, we did it with Jim just the other day. And
Yeah, I know. Are they keeping it cleaned out fairly decent back there and stuff? Or who does that? You do?
So, just as we need it, I keep it plowed back there, then if we need to report yourself shoveled off, we take care of it.
What did you say needed to be paid in?
There's one for Don Finn.
Or what did you
Put the holes in, run the cables, and stuff up above. the
Surveillance work, wasn't it?
Surveillance work, yeah. And I don't know, Stacy, are the cameras working now?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Okay, so the cameras are working.
yeah, it was a Ford, we fixed it.
Okay, what else is there? Oh, I understand we're gonna get some computers here, so thank you for that. And maybe with the Wi-Fi thing, we can set that up too as a, if we had a separate one from them, maybe from the office girls, so we can set up as a public that could be shut off at 7 or 8 o'clock at night. Because we need to, save everything, get people home, and they don't need to sit here all night. But it'll help for people to come in and do job applications and sometimes the only contact you got with family across the country is Facebook or Instagram, whatever. So that'll help.
The new homeless shelter is fire people allowed to go there? I've seen some of their rules. I've never heard about any more homeless people up here.
That's about all I have right now. We'll start planning events. I'll let you know. I just learned about the 4 events a year we're supposed to have. We'll do the best we can. I'll turn it over to Leo.
I has come to for Warriors flag, Hawaii flag, and American flag. Because we had a couple families asking about how come we don't have it set up for our veterans here. And Homie said he sent some down here, but we haven't received
I
them.
mean, I ordered a fighter flag, remember?
Yep, I thought you ordered all 3,
Yeah,
because it was Whiter, MCP,
and
and
American,
American.
yeah.
We'll have to follow up.
Doesn't matter. that'd be squared away. And the Christmas, gifts, we were short. And, Humsey, Ray, and Mike donated $200. It helped a little bit, but we were still short 80 pounds. So Rick said, see what money we got in our account, spend it. So it was $500 and I took it, and gave it to Stacy, and she went and got the Christmas present for the people that were missing, we didn't have. She come back with $6.34. Everything turned out all right, and I want to thank you guys for donating like that.
I just stopped at McDonald's and spent the rest of the other $6.
Do they have a mailing list then for all the people with toys? That's how we should send out something to let them know about these meetings and, you know, we have to get some more stamps, I suppose, but it'd be good. Get a little input from all, we got a lot of people here.
Yeah, Stacy does send them all.
I do, I send about 40 for each one, but about 25 come back, you know, they're all undeliverable, so I
Yeah.
can't keep up with people. But, yeah, we try.
I would like to see us get the flags though, because it would be helpful for the families.
We'll work on it, because I know I ordered them several months ago already, so.
That was like a-
About
8 months.
Huh?
It was over 6 months ago.
Yeah,
Yeah. They approved it quite a while back. I think they should have been in there.
well, I took them out of my funding to pay for them, so that sent up there, so.
Mhm.
Lost in translation there.
Do you have any questions for us?
Pardon?
Any questions for us we could answer?
I guess the question is, I guess we'll probably have to start asking the community councils, there's a calendar, what's gonna happen, what's
We'll
the,
have to set it.
I mean, not today or tomorrow, but, you know, down the road, is at least get a calendar what the community councils are gonna start doing. 'Cause I know some of the stuff I know when it comes to the housing and their bylaws with the community councils, that you have to do like 4 events a year or something, so. That's something I think us council would like to see is what are you guys planning for the future? So maybe one of us can come over and check it out and see how it's going.
And we have it posted on the door wheel.
Just to let you know, we're gonna be utilizing this building here for the election process stuff too. We're not gonna be using these type facilities there no more, so.
That's awesome.
Good, I think that worked very well last time when we did it today.
And, I forgot to say that they were talking about, community councils only coming out to quarterly meetings. Anytime you guys need to see it, just get on the agenda, get a hold of me or somebody and get on the agenda. I mean, you don't have to wait till the quarterly if you have something that you want. I forgot to let they tell us spring council that by seated up at the castle. We're not saying that you only have to come to the quarterly. You can put in for agenda anytime, any meetings that we're at.
Neil's usually our traveler that goes to meetings. We're all, our council's all busy, working all the time. We try to get, we have, first Tuesday of every month is our meeting at 5:30. So we try to stick to that the best we can, but life happens too.
So the first Tuesday of every month?
5:30. Okay. There's nothing else, thank you guys.
I have a question. I ran into a, elder, whiter member that lives here, and I was trying to get her to come here, and she goes, how come we don't get those, the gift cards that are presented for, Christmas time? And she started telling me what they don't get, what they used to get. But so I know that, Whiter, gives our elders, Christmas gift cards. So, is there, who handles that for your Whiter members here?
The office gives them all here.
Okay, is
And
there
there
a
was
certain?
gift, there was gift cards here.
Okay, because she said that, after I. Huh?
Butler,
Okay.
health program, it's supposed to, I forget who it is.
So I don't know if you have a certain criteria, like, because I asked her, I said, update your address, she goes, I've been in the same place forever, and she's just not getting them, so, and I don't know if they're getting information out, or.
And it could be a address or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, what's her name?
Cat Butler, but Cat is the one in charge. Cat, I don't know Cat's
Kathy Thompson.
Thompson's real name,
Okay,
she goes by Cat.
okay.
Kathy.
She's in charge at ENP, and ENP is the one that usually take care of the elders as far as it's like.
Yeah, we're kind of unique here with the community council does our part, but we have a constituent office that takes care of a lot of that stuff.
Oh, okay, I'll let her
So
know.
that's the difference. The community council has to deal with all that.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Rick. Thanks, Leo.
Yeah, I got a question.
Good job, Darrell,
I got a question. When does Cass Lake have their overnight?
Probably.
Anybody can take phone.
Okay, is that here then?
Yep, they're here. Usually in the room, in the bigger room.
What time is it?
5:30.
Okay.
Sometimes they're over at 5:45. Sometimes you still hear me at 5.
Okay, next up is Pine Point, Rice Lake, Wobbin, Whiters, Urban.
Oh, where's Urban, get up here.
Okay, come on. Come on, Nick. Sit here. So I presented a package, which I had given to Alan when he was down, when we were cleaning the mansion and for opening the drop-in center. So the packet I gave is what I gave to Alan. So do we want to table this right now because we are waiting for city to decide what they want to do?
Yeah. The Urban Community Council has requested that the mansions be converted to a 24-hour facility. And that's certainly something everyone wants to do. But Martha has submitted a application to the city for that to happen. And so we're just waiting on a response from the city. And then there's also a couple of other regulatory steps that have to happen. And so it's something that we're gonna work towards. And, but I will submit copies of this packet. I think you guys all have copies of the requests as well. I did talk to Martha a little bit this morning, as she said that they are trying to convert it to 24, which we know our people are literally freezing. I mean, there's nowhere to go during the night. There's a lot of warming centers during the day, but there's nothing open at night. And so a lot of our folks are stuck in I went out there one night and they're all stuck in, they go to the train station just to warm up, and you got people, tribal members going around and feeding them, hot soup and hot food and taking care of them, and a lot of good volunteers. And so, whatever we can do to help our members to get off the streets at night it has to happen. It has to happen. So that's really the most basic update that's there. I know Martha, like I said, she submitted the application. We're just waiting for a response from the city. But they also said that there was some of the neighbors had issued a letter to our people down there. They didn't like the idea of us having homeless people in our mansions. So there is some opposition out there to help these homeless people that are our people, our relatives, So we just got to keep after it. We got to stick together and make it happen. They do have other requests in this packet. They have computers to help facilitate some of their work. I know this community council and other community councils have requested like laptops so they can do their work. I think we're in full support of that. And so I would like to do it all at once if possible and just like to pass a budget and let all the community councils know, okay, we're gonna have computers and printers and scanners set up for you. Somebody come and sign for it, right? And you guys have changeover in election or you need maintenance, you just bring it back to the RBC, we'll update it and fix it or if there's any issues. And so She does have a number of budget line items in there, to help facilitate that, so. But until we get an answer from the city, you know, it's hard to approve that budget because it's gonna be contingent upon, it's a budget modification is what it is.
Right. And the budget that, is the colored one is from Patina Park, who is the CEO from Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center, and she's willing to be an operator. I work for Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center, and we just opened the knife drop-in center for women only. And, it's going very well, and it would be wonderful if we could get ours going too. And Don is going to make a report on what our council has been up to.
I'd like to go back and just reinforce, how can we, well, two things. Requesting the, council support and trying to kind of push the city to give us a response or to, respond to a request faster. And the other thing is, how can we as a wider urban council support, excuse me, I'm having a hard time there. How can we as wider urban council support the, information, get the information out or, with that, the neighbor concern of, having the shelters, the drop-in centers at the mansion? I mean, isn't that a process that needs to happen where we're informing them or communicating with them or talking with them? So how can we support and help to get that information out there, addressing this issue surrounding the surrounding neighbors? Anybody? Any idea?
Well, it's just, I think it's our property and it's our people we're taking care of. I think we should be able to do what we have to do, to take care of our people, regardless of what the neighbors have to say.
And I think that's one of the things that the city is requesting, that we get the neighbors together and let them know what we're doing, so they're not like blindsided. And, that's, the city is requesting that.
Does the city need a radio station?
Pardon me?
Do you have a city?
Yeah, Robert Pilot.
Yes.
You give a request to him. There, a lot of people too get our paper for the month, and anything you wanna add in there, you know, you guys.
I know that what I'm hearing on our part is that we're all pushing and, having things in place to make this happen, but now we're playing the waiting game and who's suffering? And it's like, I have no clue as a community member how to get in there and address, to get the city to move quicker. So I'm looking at you stuff for support in finding ideas of addressing it.
I would just go down there and meet with the mayor and their staff again, you know, we just gotta get in there and. I know we're gonna be in town on, Monday for Prairie Island, so maybe we could swing by maybe Tuesday or something. If Liz or somebody can, or Joan, help us set up a meeting with the city, just meet with those staff, see what we can do to move this thing forward. What I do know is, if you want stuff done, you gotta stay on it, just like this letter here that we wrote. It's a nuclear button. Some buttons gotta get pushed. You want stuff done. They gotta know that we're serious about helping our people. We'll do whatever it takes to help them.
I know I called, the city, and I called the inspector, and I called Martha. I think she's getting tired of hearing from me, but, I think we'll get it done. Positive.
Well, I do know too that when you push on that city council or the mayor, they get a little puffy about that. Then they kind of put us in a position where we gotta tie their hands to get them to do anything, because then they start backing away from us because we're pushing too much on them. So we try not to push too much on them where they back away from us, because we do need them to participate. in order to make things work down there on the homeless shelter, because, right now, we're looking at only our own members. And if we accept any money from the state, or the government, or anything, then we're gonna open the shelter up for anybody. And that's not our plan right now, and this is what the state and the city want. They want us to open our building up for anybody and everybody, and that's why they're kind of pressuring us on this, or making us jump through all these hoops for this.
Right.
But I think in due time we will. I'm sure Mayor Fry, he's been working with us pretty good, so I'm sure he will allow us to do this. And they even offered their contractors that they use the city to do sprinklers and stuff like that in the building at a much cheaper cost than what we would pay anybody else. So
Okay.
they have offered them services to us that the city itself uses as contractors. So I think that's a good start. I mean, we are working with them. And but like I said, I don't want to pressure them too much, because then they start getting back and away.
Right, right. Could we request a budget, for the entire project? Because I requested that, I haven't gotten anything.
Well, we're still working on it. I know it's up in, I think at last count, I think it was like $3.2 million, something like that.
Okay.
To get the sprinkler systems in and update the bathrooms. There was a lot of work that had to be done. Oh, then that porch up there has to be redone. There's something has to be done with that. I know it was up quite a bit. And then the basement, we wouldn't use the basement, but it's part of the building, so we gotta do something with that also.
Okay. So we'll, table this and,
Yeah, if we can, until we get back with the mayor. And I know, what's her name was working with them pretty close. I didn't make it to that meeting because I was on another one. Our behavioral health team has been working pretty diligently along with Ben Dement. So they are on it. It just, the government is re-up and waiting.
thank you.
Where are you located?
In the metro area, my name is Shar, I'm the chair for the White Earth Urban Liaison.
Where's the mansion?
Community Council.
It's right on Franklin.
Yeah, on Franklin.
Before you get to Lindale Avenue,
Oh.
it's like about 2 blocks from Lindale there on the right. They got a sign there. So if you come to Lindale Avenue, you went too far, you gotta turn around and come back.
We have a sign out there.
And this is Dawn LaRock, she's our secretary.
I remember Don was a little kid.
And then Cheryl Big is our co-chair. And then we have Cheryl Jimenez is our treasurer. And then we have community members. Tammy Skinaway, and we're looking for 2 more community members.
Yeah, I see the paper you guys do a lot.
Yeah, we're-
And just so you know, in this TEC meeting, there was a text or email came up from the chairman, Kathy Shavers, that all TEC meetings now are only for enrolled members.
Right.
So, I mean, I seen some on the list for that were coming up that were waiting, descendants. Currently, I guess they're not even invited either right now. It's just where to know your Beach Lake, you want to have to be enrolled in one of the bands. Is what it said. Which I kind of disagree with, but that's up to the TEC.
And the urban office is taking the lead on this. So there were 3 vans that were going to be used to transport members. And Carl did say he was going to go over the list that they have. But the vans, there's a capacity of 15 in each van, but then we have to consider luggage. So as of yesterday, I believe there were, let's see, 35 that were coming.
You know, I did see the list, but I know some of them, they didn't know if they were enrolled or not, or.
Okay.
Something like that, they should be doing here.
Get them up there for the TC.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's, listed 28 individuals on there.
Yeah, that's right.
And they did verify that these are actual White Earth
Oh, they
enrollees.
did?
Yeah, they verified that they were. But the other problem that Aisha brought up is that some of these individuals are elders and they have PCAs and non-enrolled people taking care of them. So for them to come up here without their, their spouse or their, PCA, it would put undue hardship on them. And so it was requested that we allow those individuals for medical reasons to attend and support those members to make it to these meetings. So generally, I'd be in support of it if they're accompanying a tribal member to support that tribal member, especially if they're an elder and they need help, because we don't want to create any barriers for those elders to make it there, But we do have a list of 28 on here, but I know some of them, they don't have, some of them are excluded from the, we're taking off because they couldn't make it because they couldn't bring their provider, the PCA.
Okay.
Which I thought was really sad, We don't want to be turning our elders away. Because those are, 90% of those are elders on that list.
So the question we have is it feasible to have 3 vans? Could we consider a bus with the numbers that we're getting? Because I know there's 2 drivers from the urban office, and I did get a call requesting if I could drive. I can. I was only going to come up on Friday. So, because if I miss 2 days of work, I'm missing a full day of pay.
Well, it sounds like more tribal members are becoming more interested in these meetings because of what's going on. And so we did send a bus last time, and a lot of people signed up, but then a bunch of them jumped off the day before, And so, but it sounds like these individuals have signed up really early, so these are they're probably gonna show up, is what I'm guessing. So, I think the cost of the bus was like $1,500. We have a $25,000 budget for the year, and so I don't think the cost is too much to get a bus to bring them up there, especially it being in White Earth. I mean, not too often I remember to White Earth. It'd be nice to.
And I think there was more issues too, some of them were coming up and weren't even attending the meeting.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah, that's a big issue, I think, with anything.
Getting a free ride up here, they're sitting at the casino and
Right.
free ride home, a free roam. Some of them weren't even attending a meeting.
Well, some were asking for, let me collect the mileage myself and let me get the money for the room myself. I'll just go sleep in my car. It's like, no, that's not what this is for.
So is there a smaller bus that you could take?
Well, it's very possible. We can ask Aisha. I know we're gonna meet on Wednesday, so maybe if we just let Aisha work on it between now and Wednesday, and then we maybe get it approved.
So, just to clarify,
Well, then you'll have to. Well, you want to come down on Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Right, that
Oh,
was
yeah.
the request.
I see. So you need to know now.
Well,
Yeah.
as soon as possible. Because the ones that are signed up, they need phone calls to let them know that they need to leave on Wednesday instead of
I mean,
Thursday
the
morning.
original was to provide transportation and a bus, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in the budget. So as far as I know, like, if you guys, if the urban council and you have enough members that want to come up and
Get a bus.
get a bus,
Okay.
you don't need a vote. It's already been approved.
Get a bus. It's already approved.
Yeah, the budget's already been approved, so
Yeah.
that's what you need to do.
Yeah. Okay.
smaller passenger bus.
Get a bus then.
Right, that's what.
We'll be
Okay,
for the bus.
thank you. Then we don't have to worry about
Army blanket
bringing
store.
drivers in and.
Anybody grab one of them?
Yeah, we'll bring you up on Wednesday. Then.
Wonderful.
You guys okay with that? They come the night before on Wednesday so they can make it to the morning meetings then?
Yeah.
Okay. Amy Jo, we'll make sure she makes changes there.
And then you'll look at a smaller passenger bus, right?
Well, they'll figure something out, yeah.
Okay, so Don is going to make a report on what we've been doing since the last time we were here. It'll be short.
It'll be very short. I just wanted to also, as a, White Earth Urban Community Council, that we have new, council members. And so we are really trying to get the word out to our White Earth members in the urban area that, the White Earth Urban Office and the White Earth Urban Council are two separate entities. So we both provide different types of services for our White Earth members. So, and yet we still support each other. So for a long time with the old council, our community down there was getting things really mixed up and not knowing where to go or regarding certain situations, like, and there's a lot of miscommunication. So we're really trying to empower our White Earth members of knowing who we are and that we are there to hear their concerns, to hear their voice, to bring issues to the table if they have any, and to try to help address them. Yeah, so we're saying that the White Earth Urban Office had provided like a small Christmas party for the White Earth Urban children. And the White Earth Urban Council was there to support them, but at the same time, the White Earth Urban Council provided $20 gift cards for our teenagers, because they never get anything. So we were there and it turned out really nice, and they're taking pictures and they got to pick out toys and they got to eat, and so our families were really happy. I want to share with you, I have two teenage daughters, and that they were able to get a gift card, and my experience was I took them out and they shopped by themselves. And they literally shopped for personal stuff, not junk. But to me, as a parent, that was a support in helping me empower my girls in knowing what to do and what they need for themselves. So I just wanted to share that story to let you know we are very, very appreciative of that help and how the different ways it supports our families. So if we can continue that, please.
Did you have to go out for choice for contracts?
I'll let Char answer that.
Well, the urban office requested a donation. And with that money, they went out shopping for the toys. We didn't do toys for tots. And had the Christmas party for the kids, because we didn't have a budget to have a Christmas party for all urban members. So in that way, the kids got their toys and we had Santa Claus there, and it really turned out well.
So, the budget that helps me is with the budget, right?
Yes.
I think one of the girls, can you help? Help her? She wants to have a budget. And the urban office wants a budget. And they want
Council.
Urban Council.
Yeah. And, I think it'd be really great if we could help them get their budget going, you know? Cause they have no idea what's gonna happen to them.
Well, when we got the request to do the cards for the teenagers, we hadn't done that before. And we were told that it was the councils that were doing this. So what happened is the urban office collected all the names, and it was very confusing at the end. And if we could clarify to the urban office that this is a council project, I think the confusion would be very helpful. But we did get everything straightened out and all the teenagers did get their cards.
Okay.
But, and some of them came to the Christmas party, so it worked out in the end.
Okay.
Well, it's nice to hear about kids having a good time, you know?
And, it was very supportive because our teenagers, that's like their own money right there, and they get to choose what they want. So what else is coming up is that we are planning, every month we have an elders luncheon, bingo luncheon with prizes and gift cards. But this, coming, February, we are gonna hold a Valentine's Christmas party or dance. So that is in the works, and we're also looking at inviting the White Earth elders.
Yes.
Inviting the White Earth elders from up here to come join us. And so that's one of the big events that we're planning, and we're looking at possibly, like lights and balloons and get your picture taken and DJ, hopefully a little dance. So, and then possibly karaoke. So just really exploring some ideas. So the other thing is that, what I want to say is that we're really moving in a different direction of trying to support our White Earth members. And what that entails is that we're not sure yet. Well, I shouldn't say we're not sure, because living down there amongst them, we do hear concerns and everything, but it's just getting, empowering our community to know that the White Earth Urban Council is here for them. And we will be bringing that in, and so hopefully we'll just, the ripple effect, we will just start, becoming bigger and bigger and more, stronger in our foundation. I don't know.
You did well. Thank you.
Yeah, they both did well.
But I gotta say this. I think it's really important, and I don't know how we can do this, because again, White Earth Urban Council and White Earth Urban Office are their separate entities. And we have different responsibilities, but there is still confusion, and I'm always repeating that. And so how do we get it, like, can we have a letter sent out? And, to the council, we have a letter, the urban office has a letter, the people amongst the White Earth area have a letter, so that they're very aware of this. And then if there's some mix up in the communication down there, then we can just reflect back on this letter. Am I saying that?
What's the letter?
The urban,
Distinguish them from one
Yeah,
another.
thank you, that's a good word.
From the council to explaining how they're shut.
Carl and those guys are more or
Separate
less a
entities.
constituent.
They work for us.
Constituent.
Yeah, they're urban office, you guys are urban community council.
But she said that people are mixing them up. She wants to know, we as a council can write a letter stating that Carl and them are for one purpose and the urban council does
Yeah.
another.
Well, I'd be happy to write that letter if Veronica will draft one for me.
I just feel it's important so that communication.
Get a little letter in.
I'll be happy to sign it too.
Find someone to sign to, something different.
Because it's, different ways, we have a lot of ideals, also surrounding marketing and how we can expand and how we can support in that area at the wider urban council.
Big witch down.
Alright,
The food's getting cold, guys, so
We
I
gotta
guess.
eat.
So are you finished?
yes,
I was
I,
gonna say one thing.
as long as you're not digging that glass.
Hey, Ray.
Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, just, me, I'm Nick Hoffman with Dina, family comes from White Earth, High Point, and I'm not on the council, but I've been, just helping out and keeping an eye on things and talking with as many people as I can, and, just to put it on the record, I wrote a little small something here, and I was gonna talk about this, just a couple of things that I've been seeing. First, I wanna thank you guys all for what you're doing, the word is spreading down there, that you guys are actually
doing the work, you're coming down, you're visiting, and people are excited. People are seeing the commitment, seeing what you guys are doing, working with the city and pushing these issues, and it's having a positive effect. We know it's not gonna happen overnight, but we will win people over, and I think that from what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing, people are delighted to hear that you guys are really taking these things on and coming down to the city. And, the one thing is that, I've heard Alan talking, and I want everyone to know that, the commitment, to both sides, urban and reservation is been stated over and over again. So no one's going to be forgotten in this, so that's the one thing they've made clear, and I see that they're doing. That's great. And this little drop-in center, I wanted to say that, what I wrote this morning, I passed it out to a few guys at breakfast. The White Earth Mansion daytime drop-in warming centers is sorely needed and undoubtedly helpful. However, an overnight facility or a nighttime facility is arguably more immediate and critical uncertain need moving forward. Overnight in the cities is when the risk of death from exposure, violence, and untreated overdoses where our people can be at their highest. Our overnight drop-in center will serve those at risk, most at risk, to these deadly threats while simultaneously creating a tremendous opportunity for the White Earth Nation to provide not only immediate life-saving assistance, but also advance long-term solutions for our people that our programs offer. The goal for helping our most vulnerable feel safe, get the help they need, and creating a pathway for lasting success can start here down in the urban area for our members. I feel that the establishment of the 24-hour drop-in center will do 3 things. Number 1, we can recognize, connect with, and maintain relationships with White Earth members in the Twin Cities who need and want access to our services. Within 24 hours, some will come during the day. Some will be able to come at night when they can't go other places. And then also, we're doing outreach where Alan came out and he saw, and we were going out and letting know people what's out there. We can bring them in. And as we build that relationships with people and they see that we can be trusted and that we're there for them, what can happen next is we can generate revenue for the tribe through Medicaid billing for our services that we offer. We can have this will have the state put money into what we're doing. So we're not just footing the whole bill all the time. And finally, what we'll do is we'll identify our processes and strategies for healing, not just the homeless, but also mind, body, and spirit. And we can see what's working, what needs improvement, and also what's missing from the overall approach. But again, like I said, everyone down there, from what I'm seeing, is almost, I don't want to say shocked, but they're really happy to see that you guys are doing it up here. And I want to say thank you for everyone that I've been talking to. That you guys are doing a great job. Oh, one last thing. When we open up the obituaries, we see our elders passing every day. And I want to see, and I was hoping everyone who was here or who can hear me up there, that each of the council members or councils out there, we find a way to video log and archive and interview our elders. So the stories, the experiences, the wisdom, the language, the traditions are passed on and kept forever. I think it would be a little bit of a difficult undertaking, but it's entirely worth it, because every day we're losing people, and that's a very, very special generation. And so I would hope that all of you guys will talk with people and find ways where we can set up places for interviews, sharing stories, and really and get a record of what our elders know. So we always have that for all time for our future generations. You would?
Just so you know, yesterday at the state, a band up in Boyd Fort that come up, their language and their elder. What they want to do is go out and make, take the person talking in Ojibwe and then get a history behind them, and then put it on a tape, and then distribute it out to the families who want them to carry on our traditions and listen to our past history, because every time we lose an elder, we're losing a lot of our past.
Exactly, and then we can archive that at tribal offices.
That's something I would like to look into too, is going out and interviewing somebody who speak fluently or let them talk to them, to speak to them. Good idea. Have we had a break?
Yeah. Sounds great.
You're gonna-